What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'll be dog sitting this weekend, so be spending a lot of time out on the property, running the little rascals so that they don't, drive me insane. But I noticed, of course, Tim Pool is trending, and I decided to take a look at exactly why. Now, Tim often will put out tweets. He's talked about his methodology before, where he puts out absurd tweets and then he'll put out tweets that he really believes. And it gives him, in his mind, this plausible deniability. People will never know what he actually believes. To me, it's just it's known by a different name. It's just Twitter trolling. And he gets people angry on both sides of it. And it's just why you can't take Tim seriously. You just can't, at least on Twitter. And even super huge mega brains, one of the smartest people on the platform, Ethan Klein, he was fooled by it. And I thought we'd take a little look at some of the trolling and exactly what happened. So it started out with a single tweet. I went to dinner with my girlfriend and was told it was a 20-minute wait. After only a few minutes, a couple walked in and was seated right away. I complained and left right away. I don't tolerate BS, and I don't tolerate people who think I should care when they do. Now, some people, this tweet got him trending essentially. And I thought it was an interesting meme. He also tweets, I worked for a major corporate news outlet and was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. When they told me to get woke, I said no and tried to break my contract. I don't tolerate BS. If you do, by all means, do you. But don't come to my sad because you won't stand up for... Don't come to me, I think he means me, sad because you won't stand up for yourself. Now, what he's most likely talking about here is the ongoing conversation in swimming, in particular, women's swimming, where biological men are competing against women and crushing them. You can see it's all kind of, all about, many of his tweets are about this. Here's a tweet, meet Emma Wyant. She swims for the University of Virginia, represented the USA at Tokyo Olympics, and she finished second place to a male in the women's 500 at the national championship. She's a true champion to us all. Tim writes, she did not win. She lost. She deserves to have lost. I'm tired of people capitulating to the machine and then crying about it in private. Well, again, a crass take. Is he right? Sure. It can also be profoundly out of touch. This is one of the things that, where Tim, he got into it with the old beard guy that one time, not me, about letting his kids play sports, and they couldn't play sports without getting the poke, and he didn't want to let them get the poke. Anyway, it was very easy for Tim to say, well, just don't let your kids play sports. Again, is he wrong? I guess not. He's not wrong that people are still opting into the system and allowing it to happen. However, I will say, it's really easy to hold this position, isn't it? It's extraordinarily easy. I saw an infographic going around the other day where Tim Pool had earned more in super chats than any other human on YouTube. I don't know what the date range was, probably a year. There were people ahead of him, but they were like VTubers and stuff like that. And VTubers are people too, but it was over $1 million. Okay. This is, I guess, publicly mined data. That doesn't include ad revenue and sponsorship stuff. I would never, I'm the king of running ads. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying it's an extraordinarily easy position to maintain when you've got an established career, you've got millions of dollars in the bank, and you're relatively uncancelable, relatively insulated. Tim has reached a point now where even if he was banned from YouTube, he would have enough people that would follow him to his website, or an alternative platform that he would still be able to make a living, a good living. These swimmers are college kids who have worked their entire lives to get to that position, okay? They didn't opt into the system before it was broken. They've swam probably since they were toddlers, and now they're in college. The only reason a lot of them can afford to be in college is because they're there on a scholarship, okay? And I do think it's awfully rich to expect somebody, and we know what would happen, right? If one of these girls, if let's like imagine this, right? The next event that this biological male swims in against females, if at like the starting shot, none of the women jumped and then just let them run, that's what they should do. That would be a powerful statement, in my opinion. But those people's lives would likely be ruined by Twitter. One of the most powerful smears Twitter has is to call somebody transphobic. You can't critique somebody who is trans, even with a legitimate criticism, without some large group of people calling you transphobic. You can't bring up the point that while I appreciate and support my trans viewers, that numbers matter and that we shouldn't, be bending over backwards for somebody who is, 0.03% of the population. The non-topsy-turvy answer is this, okay, in terms of women's swimming. Sorry, biological male, this is one thing you cannot compete in. End of story. Does that ruin their life? Probably not. It's just one thing. By the way, they can compete in the men's league if they want, right? You never see any biological females winning anything against biological males. It's always the other way around. It's in feats of strength. There are sports that I think you could probably commingle. I mean, certainly, sports that are like team events or sports that are mixed, or even like competitions that are not requiring of physical strength. I don't know, chess, or obviously nobody would have a problem with it if there was a men's team for chess and then that there was a trans male on that team. Nobody would have a problem with that. It's the biological, physiological advantage that it's like, can we just, not go insane and just accept that fact and then say that, hey, it sucks that you can't swim college sports. How about if you qualify, we'll still give you a scholarship? I don't know. Wouldn't that be better than screwing over? It's like the one person who, yes, just wants to live their life, but they are infringing on hundreds of other women. And I think this is just one of those times that you have to be like, yeah, I hear you. It sucks. But you're screwing over hundreds of other women. That's, the weight of the number of people affected negatively far outweighs one person's ability to swim in a pool. So, sorry. It's just one of those things. And that has to be it. It may seem cold, but it's just the stone cold facts of it. And this is, look, I would love for them to have why don't they just have mixed teams, or there's got to be some other type of event that you can compete in. And I don't think, by the way, I don't believe that the folks that are competing against females are like some evil masterminds. They just want to do the thing they love, and that's commendable. Except you can do that, just not in NCAA and not in the Olympics, and compete against somebody you have a biological huge advantage over. But it's a position, like Tim is probably right here, but it's an awfully privileged, super easy position to hold. It's super easy to be black-pilled and say oh, well, nothing ever matters and nothing's worth doing because it all sucks. And you never really have to commit to that, right? it's easy to say this stuff when you're a multimillionaire. And that's just what people push back at. Like, but here what he's saying, I believe, it's like a meta conversation about, hey, if you're not gonna fight for yourself, why should I fight for you? And I understand that. I really do. I'm not even saying that's inherently wrong. I'm just saying it's grating to hear, and that it's a very easy position to hold. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Then, of course, this tweet, which was like hilarious, it's all in this thread, right? It's clearly a troll. And people lost their minds over it. Ethan Klein, this is giving me Demi Lovato yogurt store vibes. You get that it's a joke, right? It's a troll. It's a work. And everyone like, everyone in here, like, yeah, someone saying swing and a miss. Everyone's like, oh, has you ever heard of a reservation? Is there a reservation? He doesn't get it. Why doesn't he make a reservation? These people are so anxious to dunk on him that, like, he can throw out the lowest quality bait on the planet and they take it every single time. And he'll get his name trending every single time. Even I recognized it immediately. I think I quote tweeted, yeah, this has to be a meme, right? Like, of course it's a meme. Now, some people think it's like a Tom Morello impersonation. Also, the Seinfeld episode, like, some people can think that he's out of touch. Maybe that's the case. Maybe there's a kernel of truth in this turd of a tweet. But that's the system he set up, which is why you just can't take him seriously on Twitter, because you don't know if it's a work. You don't know if he's being serious. And so why waste the time? Why waste the time getting upset about it, unless you're an insane leftist? I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.